In October of 2024, we received a call from a meat rendering plant in Norton, Nevada, requesting emergency rush repairs on a Foote Jones speed-reducing gearbox used on one of their lines. We worked with them to coordinate transportation to our facility. The gearbox arrived at our Upland, California facility with a lot of corrosion and the input shaft locked up. The gearbox was washed prior to any work being performed. Our technicians began the disassembly process, documenting any additional issues in their report. The intermediate gear set and the input pinion gears were bad and would be manufactured at our facility. All of the components were once again ran through our parts washer to remove debris and odors. All of the bearings and seals were removed, part numbers documented, and the parts ordered. The housing was cleaned and mating surfaces polished. All of the components were cleaned of corrosion and the housing interior painted with red insulating varnish. The 3 gears we manufactured were completed and prepped to be installed. The remaining gears were then polished in preparation for installation. The bearings were heated and installed onto the corresponding shafts. The assembled shafts and gears were installed back into the gearbox housing. Tolerances were checked and set to Foote Jones specifications. A coat of sealant was applied to the housing surfaces during installation to prevent any leakage. Floats and preloads were set to Foote Jones specifications. New grease fittings were installed. The bearings were pre-greased prior to running. The fill and drain plugs, sight glass, and breather were installed and sealed. The input and output couplings were installed. The completed gearbox was cleaned, test ran, and prepared for painting. A fresh coat of primer and gray enamel was applied. The gearbox was secured to a pallet and shrink wrapped for shipping. The transportation arrived and the gearbox was loaded for its trip back to Nevada.